All right. It's Friday then. I have bad voice, so don't judge me there. But good morning, guys. How's everyone doing? Friday morning. Looking like we get some more opportunities. This is something we talked about in the chat last night after we got the drama that came out after hours. At this point, guys, if you're not in positions, you want to see these pullbacks, man. You want to see these pullbacks. You want to see these panic dips. You want to see these things that present opportunities. And this morning, I'm definitely going to have my eye on what's pulling back, what's out there that I could try to take advantage of. So definitely some this morning. It's a little early. You never want to try to. I mean, if you guys are dollar cost averaging into some shares, like if you have a long term. For example, if you're a Snap shareholder and you're want to average down on this dip, absolutely. I know there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, you want to do that, but you don't want to be the first one out the gates buying call options on Snap today. I don't think. I'll give it a few minutes, see if there's some opportunity there. But yeah, we'll go over all that in today's live stream, guys. Gonna be looking at some stuff. We had American Express report earnings. That stock's been rock solid for the last few months off the dip. We'll take a look at that. And overall, just get ready for Friday. Facebook looks interesting. Good morning to Shumbi. How you doing? Good morning to all the familiar faces. Yeah, Dwack. So I actually purchased one share of Dwack. For fun, just to say I was in it. If you guys ever feel FOMO on something like this, I like to I bought one share at like 45-ish, near the top before it fell. I just bought a share. So I just did it because I wanted to feel like I had some skin in the game, didn't want to FOMO into anything stupid, go too large. And you know what? Maybe my one share can go a long way. If it doesn't, I lose maybe $20. If it does, if this thing goes to 100, I make $75. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Dwack's crazy. Would be interested to see if anyone here actually has some size in it. Because if you do, you probably up quite a bit. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's just go ahead and get started. I really don't have anything else to say. It's Friday. I'm excited. This week has been killer once again. Nvidia looks fantastic. Microsoft, their entry yesterday looks fantastic. You guys know if you come here on the live streams, we called out those two perfectly yesterday. So congratulations to anyone that does come here early and catch those potential plays. Those are really, really nice. So futures, wow, Dwack as we talk, I have it up on the screen and it's going. It's at 81 right now. This thing's probably going to hit 100. I mean, it seems like when stocks get here, you get that magnet towards that triple digit. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna fall eventually, of course. So let's go ahead and get started. Futures, Nasdaq, S&P, Dow. Let's take a look. Let's look at what yesterday looked like. We temporarily got through 15.4 yesterday on the Nasdaq. We ended up pulling back in the after hours last night because of Snapchat's earnings. Sort of freaking out, and looks like we're right back above it. So we're at 15,440 here in the pre-market. So I think we're okay. We're above that 15.4. So we'll go ahead and take a look. Snap overreaction with a question mark, right? I'm not stating that it's an overreaction. I'm looking into whether I think this is an overreaction. And at this point, you got to believe it's a little bit of an overreaction. The only trading that we have seen since their earnings is most likely algorithmic trading. So algos, computer trading in the after hours, reacting off certain headlines, reacting off certain numbers. So is there a true understanding of where Snap shares should be right now with the actual traders? It's mostly algos that traded that after hours. So we'll see what happens today. We'll see if there's any opportunities back to the upside. We'll take a look at it. Ad revenue stocks. So all ad revenue stocks. This is why you guys saw Facebook, Google, Roku, Twitter, social media stuff, Pinterest, I think fell a little bit off of it. This is why you guys saw these stocks fall, right? So this is called a sympathy play. And if you got the sympathy play right, you definitely did well. So if you played, say you could have played Facebook puts or calls yesterday, in expectations of Snap earnings. So if you played Facebook puts because you thought Snap was not going to do well, then you did well on that. So you have those sympathy plays out there. Intel reported bad as well. That's why AMD and Nvidia moved up last night. So in the after hours, we saw Intel fall. You got AMD and Nvidia pushing higher. So that is why you're starting to see. That's when you start to see those sympathy plays in the after hours during earnings. So we'll review the Microsoft entry that we talked about. We'll talk about a little bit about Zoom. Zoom's been on a nice little move, trying to recover. It's not quite somewhere that I love, but it is definitely recovering. So we'll take a look at it. AMD and Nvidia this morning moving very strong. Those will probably hit all-time highs here in the next coming days, I would assume. So you guys know I've been in Nvidia for about 8 days now, 8 total days. So it's probably about maybe 5 trading days, right around there. So 5 or 6 trading days I've been in Nvidia, still in it, full size, still in full size, and this thing's just killer, man. Nvidia has not showed, one time, Nvidia has not showed me, okay, maybe this is where I get out, right? This thing just continues and continues to move higher. So very, very nice. Loving it. And we'll take a look at AMD as well. American Express reported earnings this morning. American Express is a great stock, man. I mean, it just fine. We sort of talked about the pullback that we saw about maybe 2 months ago. And it's been a grinder. It just continues to hold up. So American Express, Visa, MasterCard, they have some really big days sometimes. So today, let's go ahead and take a look at those three. PayPal, still very wrecked. Still an ongoing news about PayPal and Pinterest. I'm not really sure what comes out of it, to be quite honest, guys. So you can take a look at it, but I'm trying to, I have a very small play in Pinterest that I took. It's probably going to lose money, and I have a tiny play in PayPal, and that's probably going to lose money as well. I have $80 in PayPal and like maybe, I don't know, $200 in Pinterest, maybe less. What do I have in Pinterest? Let me see. Hold on 1 second. I have I have like $100 in Pinterest around there. So no, 250. So a total of 250 at risk. So it may not work out. It's for next week expiration. I did it because I wanted to see if I could take advantage of any arbitrage. Because if Pinterest is trading at 60s, and if the deal actually goes through for PayPal at 75 or 70, that stock has to go to that price, right? It will instantly go to that price. If they get bought out at a certain stock price, the stock will instantly trade at that price because that is the fair value. That's what they're being bought at, right? So I did it. It's a little bit of a gamble there, and I just did it because I've had a really good week, guys, and I can afford now to put a little bit of some little plays out there to see if I can continue to get some large percentage plays. So I can put $80, $200 on the line to see if I can get a big move. I'll always do little things like that, trying to take advantage of opportunities. I think it's just sort of opportunistic. Maybe I lose money on it, but I can afford to do that with the portfolio. So we'll talk a little bit about PayPal, Pinterest, Upstart. I want to show you guys the pullback that you guys should still be watching on Upstart. And then, if you guys want, we can go over Dwack at the end. I mean, it's I really have nothing to say about it, right? I'm not going to be able to help you with Dwack, guys. It's just something I can't help you with. I'm being honest. Like, this is just something you're going to have to, you're going to be all alone on this one. I mean, this is something you're just going to have to either decide to go crazy on this thing that's going nuts and actually take some risk, or just walk away from it. So it's hard for me to tell you, what to do there. So let's go ahead and just get started, and let's go ahead and get this Friday underway. So Nasdaq, and before we get started, if you want to throw an early like on the video, if you guys are feeling extra nice on a Friday, if you're feeling good, feel free to drop a like for me. That would be great. I'd really appreciate that. All right, so daily chart on the Nasdaq. You guys know we were watching the 15.4 level, right? Actually, you know what? Let's get a little bit more in depth here, because this is sort of, the daily chart's not really showing me much now since we're sort of just moving higher. So 15.4, yeah, there's no chart on Dwack. It's impossible for me to help, you know. So 15.4, you have previous highs here, 15,400. We were watching this level yesterday. We wanted to see, can we get through 15.4, right? That was our plan yesterday, because you guys can see here on the shorter term look, on the 30-minute, look at how on Tuesday and Wednesday, look at the rejections that came in here at 15.4, right? So that was our level into yesterday. Can we hold 15.4? Can we get above it? Can we move above it? Or are we going to reject once again? And is that going to show us that, okay, this is where the Nasdaq is going to start failing, and we need to be careful for that downside? Well, I am happy to say and happy to report that, yesterday we definitely broke through it. You guys can see we definitely moved above it, pulled back, held it as support, pushed through it. This is something that I just want to quickly go over. This is something that I talk about with the chat, like intraday all the time, guys, on the 1 minute chart. So I'll go ahead and pull up the 1 minute chart here for you guys on the Nasdaq. And so during the day in the Discord chat, if you guys are not in the Discord chat, I'm constantly calling out the futures, right? So I'm always watching this futures, calling out, where should we be careful? So for example, this is how, just a quick little review of, what I do. So yesterday we started to come up here, right? Right here up in this Nasdaq area, we started to get really heavy up here, right? So right around 11 o'clock, we moved up, we pushed up, but we really started to fail this level. And you can see this crack right here on the Nasdaq, right? So at that point, if you guys are trading tech, if you're trading upside on tech, when you start to see this right here, you should no longer be trying to go to upside in tech, right? So this is your market sentiment for you, telling you, saying, hey, the Nasdaq has lost steam. It's starting to move over, and I should probably take a second to see if this thing can hold up before I enter any more long positions here in the morning, because you can see Nasdaq is starting to fail this 15,440, which is literally right here at these previous highs. It was the highs here. So 15, it was right around this 15. Hold on, where is it? Okay, it was Thursday's high. Sorry, guys. I know it's somewhere around here. Here we go. So we were up here around 15,440, right around here, right? This was Wednesday's highs. And what you guys will notice on the 1 minute chart yesterday on the Nasdaq, as we started to approach that 15.4, it was the previous day highs. Look at what started to happen, right? So intraday, I'm in the chat saying, hey guys, 15.430 is starting to hit. This is yesterday's highs. Nasdaq starting to lose some steam here. Do you really want to be putting on long positions at this point if you miss this move? Probably not. This is not somewhere to be putting on long positions as the Nasdaq starts to hit resistance from yesterday's highs. So this is why, you got to pay attention to this stuff, because if you were not paying attention to the Nasdaq yesterday, intraday around 10:45, 11, maybe you were putting on some long positions here as the Nasdaq was failing previous day highs, and that is why maybe you lost money on those positions. So that's important, right? And what you guys will notice is intraday, we moved above that 15.4. This is why I bring this up, because we were talking about 15.4. This is so you can see pullback 15.4. Look at the double bottom that formed there right at that previous resistance. And after seeing that, that was very bullish, right? So, we can't really, you can sort of ignore this. We couldn't really expect for this to happen. But intraday, guys, we saw that 15.4 break and retest, double bottom, and that just gave away the end of day run, right? That literally gave away that we were going to have an end of day rally, because if we were not going to have an end of day rally, this thing would have fallen back below 15.4, would have tried to get back above it, would have rejected it, and that would have been our day. But you guys can see intraday, the futures just gives away this price action. So I loved to see that yesterday, and I have to say, I love to see this. Look at this here. Nice hold, literally hugging that 15.4 previous resistance, and now bouncing off of it. I have to be bullish today. The only way I would be bearish today, or somewhat worried about today, would be if we came back up, hit 15.4, and we're starting the morning down here, right? That's concerning, because you just turned that 15.4 into resistance again. But you guys can see we are not. We are turning it into support. So that's what I'm looking at on the NQ today, guys. Looking for that 15.4 to hold. That's my big number intraday. So watch intraday. If we move down to 15.4 again, see if it holds. If not, then maybe you do have some more downside. So that's the level to watch. The ES, is this thing at all-time highs yet? It's about 3 points off, or 4 points off. So guys, it's just incredible. It really is, to see how quickly you can miss a dip buy opportunity. I mean, this thing is here and gone within a matter of 5 days, right? You know, it's really in a matter of 3 or 2 days, this thing was here and gone. So I hope this, I know you guys, I think you guys know that, I'm not going to say it once again. I think you guys know I was always looking for this, right? I was always looking for this move. I definitely lost a little bit of money in this dip, looking for this exact move. But I knew that when it came, I would outweigh any of my small losses for a very nice big upside move. And this thing is it's one of the most beautiful bounces that I've seen, because it really just gave itself away. Inverse head and shoulders, downtrend breakout, and boom, I'm just going to say it, we're at all-time highs. I mean, come on. We're 4 points off all-time highs. So just awesome, man. It's awesome. Yeah, a month to correct, 5 days back to all-time highs. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy, man. So awesome to see. Just awesome move to the upside. Obviously, guys, when you see a move like this, it makes you think, okay, where's the pullback going to be? I think we'll get it, but I would not, at this point, I have to think that we're probably going to tap all-time highs. Maybe we find some rejection there, right there at 45.49. But, I mean, we're 4 points off of it. So maybe earnings gives us a little bit of a pullback, or earnings does this. But either way, if we get this breakout of all-time highs, I definitely would want to see that, right? I'd want to see this, and then that's where you take some more plays right here, right? So you'd want to at least see something as some kind of pullback here on the ES. I'm not sure where it's coming, but maybe we get the handle, little cup and handle, and then we get the breakthrough. So it's going to be an interesting point. This is hard for me to say what happens here, because it's very difficult. Down here was easy for me, guys, because I said, hey, this is an inverse head and shoulders, and we have previous levels to be watching for, right? Like this was a previous level. Here were some previous levels. But at this point, this thing's just at all-time highs. So I really don't have any levels to share with you besides the 45.49 all-time high. See how that does. See if we break through it. If we do, maybe look for that retest. And then if it does retest, that's a killer entry for some upside. So let's see if we can break all-time highs today on the ES. If it's Friday, I'm gonna give it some positive vibes, and hopefully we can see that. I would love to see the all-time high break. And then finally the Dow, which is through all-time highs, guys. So officially Dow all-time highs today on the live stream. And it's crazy for me to even be saying that almost a week after, like a week and a half after it seemed like the panic was settling in into the market. So Inverse head and shoulders again, great push higher, just an awesome formation, awesome bottoming formation here on the Dow. Inverse head and shoulders also coming in at 33.5, perfect. I mean, everything about this dip, support, and bounce is perfect, and then you're at all-time highs. So today, guys, maybe you watch to see if we can hold the previous highs here. So here, look at this. So you can see we found resistance here at all-time highs before. I know it's pretty shallow, that, it's not that, it would be a pretty shallow pullback. It's not that much of a push. But if we can turn the 35,535, this previous all-time high into support, you can see the little break, retest. If we can hold this thing this morning and start to push higher off of it, that would be a very bullish sign. So that's what I'd be looking for. Just see what the Dow does. It's at all-time highs, guys. So if you're someone like me, you definitely want to see some pullbacks as opportunity, because it's gonna start to get difficult to find opportunities on stocks that are just pushing through all-time highs. That's when you gotta start being somewhat of a momentum trader, because there's really no other things, or you just sit back and you wait. Or you just sit back and wait. Yeah. So before we get into the stocks, I'll give you guys my quick. My ultra bullish analysis for you. Sometimes I like to think of ultra bullish scenarios, which I don't let flood my judgment. I just like to think of them because it's fun. But here is your last pullback on the Nasdaq, right? Actually, you know what? We're gonna use this on the ES. The last inverse head and shoulders, last pretty decent pullback of 8% was here on the ES. So this right here. Oh no, that wasn't it. I think it was this one. Was it this one? I think this was 8%. Was that on the E? Hold on a second. Was I on the Nasdaq? Yeah, it was. Right here. This is the 8% pullback. Right here. Okay, so here's your last 8% pullback on the Nasdaq, right? 8% dip to the 100 SMA, a little bit of a bottoming formation. And then after that move, we got a 21% move to the upside, right? So in my ultra bullish opinion, which is totally not guaranteed, but if we get this 8% pullback, this move was a span of 4 months. So from today, let's say some people like to say we have the Santa Claus rally, the end of year rally through November, December into January. If we get a Santa Claus rally and it's something like this, that's 21% to the upside. Let's just call it 20. That brings us to just about 17,200 on the Nasdaq. So this is the ultra bullish analysis. Don't hate me for showing you this. I'm not saying this will happen. I'm just showing you how an 8% pullback last time led to a 20% bounce. This is another exactly 8% pullback, 8.5%. Which, who knows, maybe it leads to a 20% bounce. I don't know. I'm not going to be a delusional person that tells you that it's 100% going to happen, but I'm just sharing with you what's the chart showing me here, right? So that's what I'm looking at. Is it possible that we see this move? When this, and if you guys, in your minds, I think this is how I think of it. Most people, let's say we're right here in the charts, right? Let's say we are, this is back on May 25th. Say we're right here, right? May 25th. Most people at this point on May 25th everyone was saying absolutely not. No way. There's no way we move 20%. If I told you guys on May 25th that the market was about to move 20% higher, you would unsubscribe and you would tell me I'm batshit crazy, right? So, and then what did the market do, right? It moved up 20%. So, those are the ways I think about it. There is absolutely the same percent chance that it doesn't happen is the same percent chance that it does happen, in my opinion. So, I'm gonna be on the lookout for that. Maybe it happens, and there's really nothing that me or you can say to decide whether it really will or not. So, definitely keep that in mind. Keep it as an opportunity here. If this Nasdaq really does start to move, if it breaks all-time highs, really catches momentum into November, December, could be a very interesting play. So Let me know what you guys think about that. It seems like the chat's pretty slow, but let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy, or is that something you could see happening? I don't know. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump over Snapchat. So 4-hour chart. Here we go. 4-hour chart. So you're saying stocks only go up? Yeah, I mean, who knows, man. I'm not saying anything. I'm just sharing my analysis there, potential analysis. So here's Snap. Big support level back down at 50, right, guys? So if we go to the daily chart, here's that 50 level, and you can see the daily chart does not populate, the big move, but this is where the stock is at right now. So the stock's at 59. The stock should be trading, right around here. So imagine this candle here. That's where the stock's actually trading right now. You're always crazy. Hey, my craziness worked out last time, right? So nice hold here. 1, 2, 3, 50. If Snap gets to 50, I think it's a no-brainer, guys. I think it's an absolutely no-brainer. If Snap somehow dips to 50 today, which I don't know if it's going to, but I think it's a no-brainer for a buy, because look at this previous support. That would be a 35% dip off of earnings, and I don't think that's something that should happen. 35% value lost overnight. So I would watch 50. Not sure it's going to happen, but keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on 50. Always keep it on your chart, and we'll see what happens now. You have actually, you know what? Did Snap just fill this gap? I think it did. Okay, so Snap sort of filled the gap. It moved a little bit under, but Snap sort of did fill this gap here on the 4-hour. Let me zoom in here. So here was your gap fill, right? From last earnings, right here, the gap up. It did fill that gap. I would look for Snap to move back into that 64. That is what I would be looking for today. I'd be looking for Snap to push back higher into the 64 and see what it does at that point. Because once it hits that 64, you're moving back into where that gap started, right here. So if you move back into 64, that is where this gap began. So see, does it break 64 and maybe push back through it and fill the gap above? I don't know. But some big gaps here on the Snap. It's going to be a very interesting chart on Snap, right? You're going to have a gap here, and you're going to have a gap here, and there's just going to be this is actually going to look very interesting now that I think of this. So you're literally going to have a hovering price action up here on the daily chart. This will literally be hovering because you're going to have the candles this morning start down here. You're going to have the candles start down here, and you're going to start trading over here, right? Whoops. So this price action will literally be hovering this morning. So that is very, very strange to see. So anyone that bought up here is stuck in, I don't even know. They're just stuck in no man's land. Anyone that bought up in the 70s area, you're sort of stuck in no man's land up there because your price action is literally floating on the daily chart. So look for that 64 today, guys, if that acts as resistance. And then 50 down below is what I'd be watching. But at this point, I'm just going to keep an eye on what it does, really. I'm not interested in, unless your guys are buying shares, then different story. But for options, I'm gonna be a little bit patient here. All right, so that's Snap, and you guys know we found resistance, or we found pullbacks on Facebook. So Facebook pulled back, but what I want to show you quickly on Facebook is how it has been very resilient to 330. So $330 a share, very resilient here. It's been holding it. It's starting to dip a little bit off of it this morning, but I would be watching 330 today. See if it can get back above. See if it just sort of stays sideways here. It's been holding this level for some time. Now, guys, I can't really give you much advice on Facebook because they report earnings here as well next week. So you're gonna have to take this one, take this one on your own. I personally probably won't be playing Facebook earnings. If I do anything, it would be like minuscule. But yeah, I don't really like to play the earnings, and I don't really know what happens. I'm personally probably just going to be waiting for the continuation move. So that's Facebook. You guys also saw Google pull back off Snap earnings. Nothing that I would be too concerned about on Google, guys. I don't think you sell Google shares because of a Snapchat's missed revenue. If you're worried about Google because Snapchat missed revenue, in the long term at least, I don't think that's a valid point. So Google's just fine. A little bit of a reaction here in the morning, and maybe you find some opportunity out of it. But Google falling back as well. What else? Twitter also moved down off of it, starting to get bought up a little bit. Twitter's been an absolutely insane stock lately because it not only did it move off of that, it also popped off of that Pinterest news, which is very strange to see. Gave back all of it, now dropped because of Snap. So it's a very volatile time to be a Snapchat shareholder, and Twitter shareholder. And I personally just don't like Twitter in general because I don't like charts that go sideways for a year. So this stock has been completely sideways for a year. I don't really have much interest in it. I would probably, how I'm going to approach this, guys, is I'm going to give, it's a Friday, guys. Do you really want to be opening up these speculative plays on a Friday? I'm going to be watching Snap, watching Twitter, watching Facebook, watching Google, seeing how they perform today, maybe, getting to plan together, getting some ideas, and coming into next week, trying to execute off of them. So I'm not trying to get into anything here on a Friday, especially not this speculative stuff that's going on. So next, we have Zoom. Zoom is trying to recover, right? If you guys know, we're in a long-term, let me go to the weekly chart. We're in a very long-term downtrend that's starting to hold right here. So let me go ahead and delete this. We definitely have that downtrend, but this is more important, right? So this support hold right here is important, right? So you can see we're starting to hold at this 249. 1, 2, starting to hold at the 249. Now, why do I have these lines in my chart? I'll show you that in a second. So right here are the levels that I would be watching to the upside. So you started to break through the first one, right? You started to break through this one. Nice break through the 275. So we need to now hold that as support. The next level is going to be 290. 290, guys, right here. Previous lows, 290 will most definitely show resistance on Zoom. And then after 290, I would be looking at these highs here of 301, maybe around 300 psychological. So those are my levels, 290, 300. It got through the 275 that it needed to get through. It actually did a little bit of a flag pattern through it, which is quite nice here on Zoom. So watch Zoom today. It probably has some room up to the 290s. AMD, Nvidia. So AMD has been on an absolute tear. Here it is in the the after hours yesterday into the pre-market today. It's incredible move. And it comes off of a quite beautiful bull flag breakout that I did not catch. Look at that. So insane. Very, very strong. Very, very nice. AMD, I would assume, goes to all-time highs. Personally, I do not buy plays that are straight up like this. So if AMD was to pull back to 112, that would be where I'd want to get in. If it does not, I don't touch it. So that's AMD. I'd look for the 112, 113 pullback. If it doesn't come, then you just got to wait. Nvidia. Wow, we're only $1 off all-time highs on Nvidia. So Nvidia, strong morning. You guys know we caught this thing off this uptrend. Beautiful, beautiful uptrend. 1, 2, 3. Bull flag breakout right here. Bull flag breakout. We caught it on the 14th. Pushing higher. Yesterday in the pre-market live stream, calling out the 620 retest. Look at this 620 retest. Push, retest, 620. Boom. Bounce off of it. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So Nvidia, congratulations, guys. If you caught this one, I mean, pre-market 620 or 220 retest was something of beauty, and I want to give a shout out to, we already know who. I want to give a shout out to Robin, because Robin yesterday, I'm gonna probably be difficult for me to go back, but Robin, you are part of the reason why I was looking at Nvidia yesterday, and Microsoft. I think you would put Microsoft too, Robin. So this is a testament to the fact that I do not have a Discord chat for just me, guys. I don't, this is not a me Discord chat. I meant 220. Sorry. This is a community, and without Robin yesterday, I probably wouldn't have found Microsoft. I probably wouldn't have potentially. I mean, I was looking at them, but I have to give credit where credit is due. When I woke up in the morning, those were the first things I saw on the Discord. Was Robin's technical analysis. Posted them quite early, and after seeing those, it got me interested, and I said, "Hold on a second, these look really good." So. Yeah, shout out to you, Robin. Thank you for posting your charts. You're pretty spot on there yesterday, or was it Wednesday or yesterday? I think it was yesterday. So that was awesome. American Express. So American Express daily chart. I really think I was looking at this at one time. Let me see. AXP. I think I was looking at this at one time. I was, yeah. Look at this. Wow. So I missed this one. But yeah, I think, look at this. Back on September 21st. Right here. September 21st. Look at that chart. Look at that little downtrend, a little flag potential on AXP. That was pretty long ago. That was almost a month ago today. It was a month ago today, basically. And then look what happened here, right? So that was badass. That was pretty sweet to see that. So very, very nice little flag breakout on American Express right there. You guys can see it. Happened, pulled back, held previous highs right here. This was quite nice. So American Express, new all-time highs in the pre-market off of earnings. I think you do exactly what we did on Microsoft, actually. That's what I'll say. I would look at exactly what we did on Microsoft, guys. 179.70, 179, 180, around that area. Look for this retest. Look for this retest. So if we break through, we're breaking through right now on the 4 hour. Let's go to the hourly. Here's the hourly. Is it 100 plus? No, it's not. Is it? Oh, God. But yeah, look for that 180 pullback today, guys, on AXP. That's what I'd be looking at. 180 pullback. Tell me Dwack's at 100. Okay, it just sold off heavy, didn't it? Hit 93. What's the warrants? Dwack something? Dwack, the warrants are Dwack W. The warrants, guys, if you aren't aware, are... I don't really know what would happen, in the long term if the stock goes, once it starts trading under the actual name, what is it, Truth Social? But the warrants went from 40 cents to like 40. That's 10,000. Is that 10,000%? Is that 1,000%? No, what's 40 cents to 44? That's 10,000%. No, that's not 1,000. I don't think that's. Tell me, I could be way off here, guys. Just let me know. 40 cents to 44, the warrants on Dwack. Dwack W. Craziness, man. So, excuse me. Here is MasterCard. Here's the daily chart. And American Express is pushing this thing higher in the pre-market. So we're at around, if I go to the 4 hour chart, we're right around 360 this morning. So we're up about 4 points. But this 360 level is what I'm worried about. So right here, this 360 level on MasterCard, right in this little resistance zone here at 360s. You also have the 100 SMA above. But I think if MasterCard can get through this and maybe even pull back, maybe it can do something like this. A little break, pull back, act as support, and then push higher. This is what I'd be looking for on MA. So watch MA over 360 off American Express's news, and then Visa also moving higher in the pre-market slightly. And this thing looks pretty good too. I mean, it's on a very nice uptrend. right? So you got this very nice uptrend on Visa. You have this nice little support hold here at 220. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you get a nice push higher off of this uptrend. So I would be watching Visa here. It's probably not going to be the biggest mover, but maybe for shares. 40 cents to 44 is not 100%, guys. That would be 40 cents to 4, I believe. Times 10. Yeah, it's times 100 times 100. Yeah, what's 100? It's 100 times your money. So that's 10,000. It's 100 times your money. 10x your money is 1,000%, right? 10x your double your money is 100. 10x your money is 1,000. If I went from a grand to 10 grand, that's 1,000%. It's 10x. 100x your money is 10,000%. So from 44 cents to $44 is 100x. Holy shit, man. 100x. Who would have knew? But, that's just the fun that we get to look back at, right? So that's Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. Let's quickly go over PayPal. Yeah, $100 to 100 to 10K, yeah. All right, smiked. See, good. We got it, buddy. It's all good. Here is PayPal. You guys can see really nasty pullback here. 253, just ugly, man. And I would have not expected this. Of course, I was looking at this uptrend. So I was looking at this uptrend. I was looking to see if I could trade it off of it. And this is just an example of you getting, you know what I'm about to say. I mean, that's really all it is. And this is why you got to have stop losses and you got to be able to get out. You got to be able to get out if it no longer looks good, because if you were in a swing trade on PayPal off this uptrend, this really does not look very, very hot anymore for a swing trade. Now, of course, this could be a dip buy off of maybe some of these levels, but at this point, I mean, this is just not a chart that I would buy when I see something like this. So I need to wait, right? Just because I know PayPal is has been sold off too much, I just don't buy charts that look like this. So if a chart looks like this, I have no interest, and I have to keep that in my head. I have to stay that way. It can be easy to go out and throw money all around. Money that you can't afford to lose. Like $80 is it's a little bit of a play, but putting a real position here on PayPal with a few $1,000s, it just doesn't feel right. So I'm gonna wait to see something a little bit more of a bottom, and then then I'll strike. So for PayPal now, for me, guys, just not really touching it. Upstart, still watching this 340. If Upstart pulls back to this 340, that is what I would be looking at. Did I miss Microsoft? I'll quickly go over it. But yeah, you guys know yesterday, right here. Yesterday, we got in Microsoft at 9:33 a.m. 5:32, we got it in at $5.32 per contract. November 19th, 310 calls. So we got in those yesterday morning. And why did we get into those yesterday? And the reason we got into those yesterday is because of this retest of previous highs right here, 306. You guys can see the daily chart. It went ahead. Look at how beautiful. Pushed through, pull back of previous all-time highs, and pushed off of it. That's really all I have to say there, right? So very, very nice, very strong. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Looking at something in the chat. So nice. I mean, just strong. And I'm not selling this thing. I have November contracts, so I'm gonna sit on this as long as I can. This was a nice little period of consolidation for Microsoft, and what makes you, I'm thinking the same thing. This is that 4-month push on the Nasdaq here, right? So 4-month push, that's about a 27% increase on Microsoft. Now, I don't know if that happens here, but 27 brings Microsoft up to almost a $400 stock. We'll see what happens, but when I look at this chart and I zoom out, I just it's why not? Why does this not move higher? Every pullback, right? Pullbacks, followed by pushes higher. Pullback, we're catching this push higher. Why doesn't it do this? Maybe it does another pullback, then it does this. So I'm looking for the push here, and that's what I'm going to be looking for in Microsoft. So we'll see what happens. But I'm in right now. All right, that is what I have. Let's quickly. I don't really want to be here that much longer. It's Friday. I want to get this day started. So let me quickly go over what you guys have in the. We did Nvidia. Did we do Nvidia? We did Nvidia, right? Yeah, we did Nvidia. GME, we did Snap, we did Facebook. GME, okay, and then I got, okay, let's go over these 6 and that's it. Speed round. GME. Everyone's been watching this little flag, they call it here. I just don't quite know if this is really a flag, guys. I think this is just I sort of feel like this is just drawing some art, to be quite honest. Because this is just so big. I just don't even, I guess I could be totally wrong, but this is just a very far-fetched flag pattern here. To me, it's just sideways with just a ridiculous candle up here. I don't know. Yeah, I'll quickly go over Tesla. But yeah, some people like to see this as a flag. I'm a little bit cautious saying this is a flag. if you do start to get this, maybe, then yeah, of course people will say it's a flag breakout. I think, you're just going to need to see, I don't know, guys. If you're, I don't come into the day looking at GameStop. That's not really my game plan. So, if you want to catch GameStop, you're just going to have to catch some type of crazy momentum. And, that's it. That's it. So, Mozam, I see what you're saying with the flag pattern. I just don't know if that really is going to react to it. I don't think you're going to move up because it's flagging. It just, if you ignore that ridiculous price action there, this is just sort of sideways. And I think it just continues to trade sideways until you get random pops. So if you want to be someone that tries to catch the random pops, go for it. Not me. Daily chart on P&G. Let's go to the weekly. Not really much here on P&G. Maybe you hold, this previous level of 140. It looks like we've looked at this before. So keep an eye on this 140 level. That's a previous retest level. You'd want to see this hold. If you don't hold that, you're probably going to get a move back down to here. Or maybe even these lows. So 140 is a must hold. If not, 134. That's what I'd be looking for. MAT. Mattel. You got a nice little potential flag here on Mattel. It's a little bit sloppy. It's a little bit of a channel to the downside, right? So a little bit of a channel, a downside channel. You want to see a breakthrough, really, YT. You want to see that breakthrough, or you trade this channel, right? If you traded this channel for the last few months, right, you got to bounce off every single bottom. So maybe trade the channel until it breaks out. That's what I'd be looking at. Right there. Trade that channel right there. All right, so I'm going to go over Chewy real quick for someone in the chat. Chewy is bouncing off the 100 SMA on the daily chart right here. You guys can see that 100 SMA on the weekly chart. I'm not really a fan of this stock. I don't really watch it, but you can see it's definitely starting to find some support at these previous levels, right? So previous lows, finding support here. You guys can see it. So maybe you get the move higher, but be careful of this 20 SMA. It's starting to act as resistance on Chewy. Fastly, another one that we wanted to look at. There was a gap here on the, I think there was a gap somewhere. Where's the gap? I'm not sure where the gap is. Someone in my Discord pointed out the gap. Can't find it. Is this the gap? This might be the gap right here. I'm not sure, guys. I'm trying to find this gap, but I don't see it right now. So I would just look to see if Fastly, resistance definitely going to come in here around 62. That's for sure. Very, very, 62, very important. That would be where I'd expect resistance. But right now, you are holding support here pretty well. Right here in this 40 area. Very nice little triple bottom right there. See if this thing can continue to push higher. Last one I have is CrowdStrike, and then I'm going to quickly go over Tesla and Intel, and then I'm out of here. CrowdStrike, I would look, this is actually a very nice formation. I would look for this pullback. Scalper, are you on here? Look for the pullback. 273 retest. Push higher. 273 retest. That would be my entry on CrowdStrike. Tesla. Tesla's Tesla, guys. You got to come into the day, just watching some of these previous levels. You got to watch this low here. If we break 888, we're going to move down, right? Or if we hold, which I actually absolutely love right now, guys, on Tesla, look at how we're holding these previous highs. Look at how we're holding 895. Look at that hold. 1, 2, acting, previous resistance, acting as support here in the pre-market. That is very bullish. If Tesla bounces off 895, this is going to move. Look at how it's turning previous resistance into support. That is not a coincidence. That is showing you something. I would definitely pay attention to it. So that is very nice there. 895 hold. Finally, Intel. Guys, I just don't have any interest in trading a chart that looks like this. I know someone on the last stream said Intel puts, and you were correct. You were spot on, sir. Whoever traded Intel puts back down to 50 here. This is where the stock is trading right now. So, yeah, guys, I just... if it's not big tech and it's not in an uptrend, look elsewhere, guys. I mean, it's, you don't need to choose shitty stocks. You can trade good stocks out there. I mean, there's good stocks out there. Microsoft always goes higher. Why not trade Microsoft if it always goes higher? Nvidia always goes higher. Trade Nvidia. You know it's going higher, so trade it to the upside. Apple's always going higher. Apple in the long term is always going to go higher. So why not trade the stocks that are fantastic companies that people are first in line to dip by and trade it back to the upside? You guys know people are not going to be first in line to trade Intel here. Why? Because they'd rather buy Nvidia, they'd rather trade AMD, they'd rather trade Apple, they'd rather trade Microsoft, they'd rather trade all these fantastic companies that some people just have some reason they don't want to look and trade into. They'd rather trade into these, crappy stocks that are sideways, that are going down, meme stocks. If I'm not, I'm trying to be, I don't want to come across harsh, but I would just focus on the stuff that's working. Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, those stocks are rock solid. They are not going down. In the long term. So when you see dips on those stocks, trust me, guys, think about the psychology of investors. If I see a dip on Apple, I'm buying that. I'm buying the dip. And so is a million other people. So if there's a dip on Apple, trust me, there's going to be support on Apple because people are going to buy that dip. And you can trade that back to the upside. So on Intel, when you see a stock like this, guys, like over the last 6 months, if this is what your chart is looking like, don't look at it. Just stop. Just don't look at this. Do not trade a chart that looks like this. Where's the opportunity here, right? What's your juicy opportunities on a chart like this? Absolutely none. So that's what I would say. That's the same thing for Twitter, right? That's why I say this about Twitter. Where's your opportunities on Twitter? Sure, there's some volatility here, but Twitter's not worth my time either. There's just nothing there. So, yeah. And that is how I will leave you on this beautiful Friday. Hopefully that gives you guys some idea of how I think, my mindset. Stick with the winners, guys. If it's working, don't fix it. Stop trading crappy stocks. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt. Stop trading crappy stocks. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. If you did, press the like button for me, please. That would really help. We have 200 likes, it looks like, which is pretty weak. If you guys can help me out on a Friday with a press of the like button. If you are not subscribed to the channel, I'm almost at 35,000 subscribers. That would be fantastic. If you guys can help me out with some subscription, if you guys are new here and are not subscribed. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Shout out to MSI, the sponsor of our live streams, as always. There you go on the bottom right, MSI. If you guys want to get a keyboard like this one, right here. Nice mechanical keyboard and a mouse from MSI. There's a coupon code down below, 15% off, I think. And you guys can get that. Giants win Sunday? Absolutely not. There's no chance. So, yeah. Oh well. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. I hope to see you in the next live stream, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Peace out.